Hello again. So we had just finished with blending and layering, practicing in either a still life or a portrait or a landscape. You practiced it a little bit. Now let's move on to some other skills we can do with pastels, like creating value and dimension in our works of art. We can actually make things look 3D when we color with pastels. So, to start off, value simply means going from dark to light. So I can color in bold and slowly take away some pressure to make it lighter and lighter. But that's not the only way I can do it. Yes, I can put more pressure on what I'm doing and make it real thick and have it dark, and then a little bit less, and all of a sudden it's light. I can also mix color. So if I have a bold green throughout, I can use white to lighten one side. That would be tinting it, and press a little bit lighter, like we did when we blended. Or I can think about the ingredients that was used to make a color. Green is made with blue and yellow, so I can add more yellow since yellow is the lighter color that makes green. And I can have it go from make it lighter that way. And add a little bit of blue in, since blue is a darker color that makes green. And darken one side of it, making it go from dark to light. Dimension, let's say I had a circle or a cube, something that's three-dimensional. When I go to color something and want to make it look 3D, not only do I have to add a shadow, but I can also darken one side. So let's say I'm using blue, and I want to make this circle look more like a sphere. I would think about where my light is hitting it. That side will be the lightest side. The farther away from it will be darker. And I press lighter where it's supposed to be light and darker where it's supposed to be dark. And I add a little shadow on the ground underneath. The shadow should be the darkest color of the tabletop, or maybe a little black. Make it bold. And then if I wanted to make my blue even darker than that, I can find a darker blue to mix in, or I can find a black to mix in right at the base. And I can use my sandwich concept of layering and blending in to make it smooth. Take the blue back on top and mix it up so it's really nice and neat. I can use white to make a little highlight at the top, or I could find a lighter blue and gently mix it together by coloring on top with the original color. It smooths it out, and you should then have a 3D shape. Same concept goes for the cube. Figure out where my light is. That's going to be the lightest spot. You should have a shadow underneath. The farthest spot away from the light will be the darkest blue. The medium blue is a little bit closer. The lightest blue will be where the light hits it. So I'll add some white in where the light's hitting it. And I can mix in a darker blue where the light is not hitting it. And there you have it. 3D shapes. Now how can I use that in my picture? Let's say I have my portrait here, and I'm going to make it all one skin tone color, trying to avoid going over the black lines. Take a look at the picture that you took of yourself or that you got of somebody else, and see where their skin tone is a little bit darker. You can take a darker peach color or whatever skin tone color you're using and blend it in nicely. This one's a little bit darker here. You can also take a black or a darker brown tone You do the same thing too. So under your chin is usually a little darker. Around the side of your face, you gently mix it together. That's usually a little darker. Around the edge of your nose, a little bit under your eyes and your eyelids. They're usually a little bit darker. Under your mouth is a little darker. Just kind of blend it together a little bit and make it nice and neat. I hope you ignored that announcement that was in the background. You go back on top if you had a problem. And there you go. 3D with value. Dimension, value. Value. Adding in shadows and all that fun stuff makes it look realistic. I hope you have fun practicing that and use it with your challenge. Use it with your wow final projects that you decide to do. Make it look real and enjoy. Have fun!